6,720 pounds, a personal couples camping half-ton favorite, the Cougar 26 RBS here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan. I love this thing because it has awesome direct cinema viewing seating. It has great storage capacity, and it's at a great length and size and weight combination for half-ton towing while still providing a lot of big RV features like thicker 2-inch walls versus 1.5-inch walls and a full fifth wheel sized king bed. Now, once again, Cougars are standard, as they used to be a couple years ago, with automatic leveling. So this is now push button simple, easy set and leveling. The changes and updates here compared to the previous generation, on the interior at least, because obviously the exterior being a polar white instead of brown is very obvious to spot. But in the polar white skin generation 26 RBS here at Haylet RV, there's a couple small, subtle details I wanted to zero in on. First, we've upgraded this to the theater seat from the standard sofa. However, this now has power theater reclining, sort of like a Montana fifth wheel, with a USB plug inside the armrest area of the sofa right here. So very phone charger friendly. Similarly, over here in this dinette, which has storage, which can fold down into a sleeper, if you peek between the legs there, which is not something I often advise people to do, peek between legs, but you can see a set of household outlets, and more appropriately, you know, very handy for keeping devices charged up, coffee makers, etc. Also, within the slide out, you see all of those big panoramic windows have these awesome wood slat kind of plantation style blinds. And just like a big Cougar fifth wheel, they pull up and down just like that pleated blackout shade you see up there in the bedroom through that big bedroom pass-through door. But these things are easier to clean. And additionally, up inside the slide box, you have 6 lights, which is borderline excessive. But what's cool is they're on a dimmer switch. So it makes for some very cool sort of almost cinema-style lighting in the evening. You can recline in that sofa, take the pressure off your legs, get some blood flowing, relax a little bit. Watch a movie on the direct viewing entertainment center over here straight across from the theater seating. We'll see that in more detail in a minute. On the way up though, straight ahead here, a couple things. First of all, nice, you know, privacy wall for our king bedroom. But this RV has a thing called In Command. In Command has a touch screen by the entry door where you can turn on and off all the lights, but you're not relegated to using only that. This still has a living room light switch. Around the corner there's a dedicated bedroom light switch. Or you could sync it to your phone and operate everything right off your phone, which is just handy as all get out. Now, another of those big RV feels in a half-ton towable thing is the fact that this has a 70 by 80 king bed, which is what's available as an option in a big Cougar fifth wheel, even all the way up through a Montana. It's still optional, and it's standard here. This is a 50 amp coach, by the way. You do have the ability to go to a second air conditioner. However, given its size and its pretty aggressive, intensive insulation model, I don't think you need to do that. And I'm a guy who likes to add a lot of extra air conditioners. This is just one you don't have to. That windshield up front gives us some awesome views of our site, although there's a privacy shade in there as well. And I like how they accent that front wall a little bit, just to kind of break it up. Both sides of the bed have these handy CPAP side stands with household and USB plugs on both sides. Additionally, our bedroom entry door over here has a full viewing window in it, so you can get up and peek at what was that raccoon sound on my campsite. Plus, of course, we've got the TV hookups, and there's that light switch I was telling you about right there. Now, as I back up here, taking a look at the kitchen, I'm actually going to back up and park myself on one of these theater seats here. So when you're sitting down, this is kind of your view. These are all sealed edge press membrane countertops, recessed sink and stove. And directly across from us, we got a little toe warmer, an electric space heating fireplace right there, which frames up nicely this huge 4K, like 40-inch Ultra HD TV over here. And that kind of sets off a little bit of the fact that this RV has some pretty intensive storage capacity. Starting up top as we pass that 8 cubic foot gas electric fridge freezer, we come over here, and this is all pocket screwed cabinetry with hardwood cabinet door frames, and apologies for that heavy glow coming off that cross breeze window there, but it's because it's a big kitchen breeze window. Now as we come down, our little spice rack is nice, but what's even nicer is the fact that we have easy reach household and USB plugs here. So it's very appliance friendly. As I mentioned before, this is a sealed edge countertop, and that is a stainless recessed sink in there under that metallic high-rise sprayer faucet. So the sink covers and the stove cover come together, give us some pretty good countertop prep space. And over here, they've got the biggest drawers they can in as many places as they can, with a huge wide open spot here for a wastebasket. And all that's cool. That's very cool. But that's probably not even 20% of the storage in this RV, because right over here, we saw that electric heating fireplace. There's a couple storage pockets just above that, and I like that set of USB plugs for a Bluetooth DVD player right there. But Cougar has one of the most aggressive, what I call pantry-tainment centers you're going to find. The TV itself swings right out, so that the TV itself is basically acting like a door to this big pantry space, and wouldn't you know it, there's even more storage above. But, kind of like an infomercial, that's not all. Cougar realized they had room, and they added an additional pantry space with more drawers next to it, because why not, right? I mean, if you're going to load this thing up with storage, why stop there? And I mean, I'm sure you've guessed as much, but since the TV can swing out, you can obviously, view it very easily, whether it's directly in that theater seat or from the dinette or whatever. You can practically see the thing from the bedroom, theoretically. I bet if you left that bathroom door open, you could see it from there. Now, it's a little dark over here in this corner, past pantry number 2, but don't worry, because we have motion sense lighting down here, and this will kick on kind of as you draw near it, which is very, very handy. Now, if you want, you can turn it just on or off, that's fine, but motion mode's nice, because it's right next to a big window in one of your entry doors, which means it will prevent a cloud of bugs from gathering up by the door, which then you get to eat when you walk in the door, which is never fun for anybody. So we saw pantry-tainment and pantry, and now we have gigantic mega closet space over here. It's absurd how much storage space this RV has right here. And it's absurd in the best way possible. They have this thing absolutely loaded up. You're looking for that, full-time potential living experience in a half-ton towable trailer. This is an RV capable of delivering that. Thought it would be nice, though, to kind of close things up and not have it look so open and cluttered. So you can see that obviously direct facing what I call no neck wrecker entertainment center right there. And the armrest, the central armrest of that theater seat actually has a handy little remote control storage pocket. Very handy. Everything, when it closes up, it doesn't feel so big and intrusive. And you saw that motion light doing its thing right there. But what's nice is you've also got just a perfectly sized bathroom. It's just big enough. You never feel really cramped in here. Porcelain foot flush stool. And I like what they did. Since this is the tallest point of the RV, they added a linen cabinet right here, but it's so high that as you're standing up and leaning away from the toilet, you're not going to clock your head. You'd have to be a world record person in terms of height to sit on that toilet and hit your head there. Just like the kitchen, we have a sealed edge press membrane countertop, and that is not a small counter. It's just a really big sink. And the fact that they went to a clear shower door, not a frosted one, it makes the whole bathroom look and feel larger. It just does not feel so oppressive. And having that vaulted ceiling and the skylight right in front of the shower head means this is very tall person friendly. One more thing before we hop outside. Doorways. Seems boring and stupid to talk about them, but something Keystone as a whole, especially Cougar, is very good about. They have these 3-inch fully studded out doorways so that this doorway always retains its shape. It's always square. And that means that if you're going down the road in transit and you hit a wicked chuck hole or something, this bathroom door is not going to slam open against the slide fascia. It's not going to be broken and busted and damaged when you reach your destination. Because that's the opposite of a fun way to start a journey. Under that big 70 by 80 king bed, we have ourselves a large storage compartment. Now, over there is the controls for things like the auto leveling, the 12-volt tank heaters, and a battery disconnect. Additionally, over here you see the in-command station. I've got the face cover off currently. Obviously, you could probably discern that, but I have learned never to assume anything. Above that is another of those motion sense lights, by the way. But if you're not familiar with in-command, this is a whole separate conversation. Long story short, it does a couple things for us. First of all, It makes it easier to see how Keystone fully color codes all of their wiring. They were the first towable RV manufacturer to do that. Most still do not. Secondly, it replaces the conventional fuse box of most RVs with something that has far higher electrical capacities and resistances. In short, it is just a beefier electrical system, and it is sort of the central nervous center for the whole RV. So like your heating, your cooling, your slides, your jacks, your awnings, it all runs through there. And if you don't want to pull out your phone and mess with it like via remote control, that switch panel we were just looking at still has a manual selector. If you want to say, nope, I want to open the awning outside, or if I want to close the slides because my Bluetooth isn't working for some reason or my phone died, you always have an override method there. Our painted nose cap is something I want to point out because a lot of RVs now have a 3-year structural warranty. Keystone is among those. Keystone's, however, tends to be the most inclusive. Since Keystone owns their own paint shop, Keystone guarantees their paintwork as part of their structural warranty. Things like that are not always true for most manufacturers. You hear structural warranty and you would think it includes things like welds in the walls, right? Sounds structural. Some of these structural warranties do not include workmanship issues like that. Doesn't that sound stupid? Well, Keystone's not among that lineup. And here is another big deal feature, and I cannot believe I didn't talk about this sooner. Cougar travel trailers, like a Montana fifth wheel, are rated for full-time RV in terms of warranty. So if you want to be a full-time RVer, even in a Cougar travel trailer, you're covered. I will now produce a list of the other travel trailers of which I'm aware have a full-time warranty anywhere remotely close to this class segment or price point, and they are as follows. And there you have it. I believe Cougar is just about an exclusive in that regard. Magnet holdbacks and slam latches on these baggage doors make for easy access. Over here you've got a simple side mount solar prep plug next to a very simplistic docking station. It's mostly just like a little outside shower kind of hutch. But once again, one of the things that you'll find on these Cougars, 3-4 years ago they did this, and then unfortunately their supplier didn't allow them to do it anymore. Basically these now have standard, no cost to upgrade to automatic leveling. So you have push button, one touch, easy leveling access. And Cougars are 0 degree rated. They are 0 to 100 rated. We're going to talk more about that on the roof, but down here. This is why I kind of call these an ultralight plus. An ultralight will have an enclosed heated underbelly, and that's fine. This has an enclosed heated radiant barrier belly with 12-volt tank heaters, and the controls for those are very easy to access. They're right in here next to things like our automatic leveling controller, battery disconnect, and if you want to add solar to this RV, it is also now roof solar ready, which is something that previously was not true either. It's hard to see with the shadowing, but if you peel back this wiper seal, you'll see another wiper seal in there, and past that you'll find an aluminum rain channel, so that God forbid water somehow manages to get past these two seals before it gets to the interior bulb seal, it gets shunted down and dribbles away. Additionally, water that wicks down the sidewalls here will hit a little inversion groove on the bottom of the slide trim right here. And that's not just Cougar stuff. That's Keystone stuff. That's Keystone 101, the kind of stuff they do all day, every day, to ensure that this thing, isn't just good looking now, but stays in good shape long term. That's why they also do things like build walkable slide boxes. And I don't believe Cougar is the only travel trailer that has them, but I know that most brands don't talk about them, which probably indicates most brands can't boast the same thing. Now, we've got all LED tail and marker lights. You can see those markers up top just above that backup camera prep. And as we come down here, you see the taillights have reverse travel lighting. So whether you have a spotter or you're using a rear view camera, you can actually see what you're doing. These also now have a standard 2-inch receiver hitch back here, so that if you would like to do things like add a bike rack or a generator tray or something of that variety without voiding that Keystone warranty, you can do so. The RV is built for real world use. It's not built with the hope that you screw it up. It's built with the hope that you go out and have a good time. Now, speaking of good times, this has a good time awning on it. It covers both doors and it clears them by a margin. Back here you can see you got the MORryde stable step system with that extra large handle. just before we get to our little campsite convenience station here. I suppose it qualifies as a camp kitchen, but you've got yourself one of these pull-out Capital grills, which these things burn screaming hot. You can actually grill on them. It's not a burner system. And the fridge outside plus the fridge inside gives the RV about 10 cubic foot of cold storage, which is pretty darn cool. Now over here we have our outside TV hookups and a second outside little kind of shower wash station. You could sort of put a little wash basin here to make it a little bit of a sink if you are so inclined. And another thing I want to point out on these, it's actually a really neat thing that Cougar does, and you can't see it, is the way that they standardize things. So what Cougar does is they say, what is our biggest, heaviest travel trailer? They identify that and they say, okay, what chassis, what suspension, what tires, what air conditioner, what furnace, etc. What do we need to make that one function properly? And they identify those things. And they say, great, now that is what we use across the board. So since this is a smaller half-ton style Cougar, it has those bigger furnace, bigger chassis, bigger tire suspension features of a giant like triple slide Cougar 34 TSB travel trailer that weighs over 9,000 pounds. So in a lot of regards, this is overbuilt, but because they've standardized it, they've controlled the cost, the construction, and the quality, and all of that is good news for you, the potential owner. Now, a few things up top here. Historically, last couple of years, Cougars had some version of tan or brown skin, and it looked good, I think, but it would pick up more heat from the sun. When they went to that lighter skin package, and now back to the polar white roof, including white AC shroud, they have dramatically reduced the amount of heat this RV will generate. And since that's not black, you're not boiling the air conditioner, which is then trying to pump cold air into the RV, because if that thing gets too hot, it ain't going to do a good job of cooling the RV. So they've eliminated that potential. Also, they have a couple attic vents here. That's what these white hockey puck looking things are. And they basically, the gap between the roof decking that I'm walking all over right now and the interior ceiling where your trusses, your insulation is, that's called the RV attic. It allows the hot air that's trapped up there to breathe out, and it just dramatically improves the cooling aspects of this RV. You also have roof mount solar prep now, and we saw where the charge controller could be mounted in the pass-through, but if you want, it's scalable. You've got just a blank canvas here where you can put all sorts of panels. Now, what I just did walking backwards on an RV roof, not the smartest thing. Don't necessarily do what I just did there. I looked around before I did it, I can tell you that, but I'm just saying, just a little tip, it has nothing to do with this. Be safe, guys. Be a little smarter than what I just was right there. I don't want to set a bad example. Also, super heavy-handed on all their sealants. They're just really, really good about that. And that's kind of what I like about these. Like every one of these campers that you see here at Haylett RV, they all have a different purpose. They're all here for a different reason. There's another big Cougar fifth wheel coming in today. Holy cow, we are getting them in today. But the point I'm making here, they all have a different purpose, they all have different benefits, and that's why we put these videos together, to help you understand why we have all these different RVs, why there's different price tags on every single one of them, and what those price tags represent and what you get for it. So if you'd like a little bit of guidance on your little RV search adventure journey, don't hesitate to give our team a call over there in the building. We're celebrating 30 years of success here in the RV industry. We are the largest independent dealer in the state of Michigan, which is one of the top 4 states for RV sales out there. You know, we seem to have a good idea of what we're doing here for folks. So, we don't do hidden dealer fees, but we do everything else, including obviously educating folks like yourselves. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.